So here I'm going to go through some of the more sort of custom reports in GA4. So if you click on the side on Explorer, you're kind of faced here with some templates. So I think there's 6 different types of sort of templated reports here, and there are some more in the template gallery, but I'm just going to cover sort of what's available. So if you go into blank report, you can actually sort of pick all those 6 anyway from here. This is kind of the report creation user interface, which is always the same, well, with some slight differences as we go through, but we're just going to keep this here. So the first one is freeform, and this literally is just like a table. So what we can do actually is we can put in some dimensions. So for example, if we want to, age isn't available in this GA account, but we're going to put in like device category and device brand and model and operating system. So I'm just going to pull those in. So nothing's happening yet in the table because I'm literally just pulling those dimensions in to make them available. And I'm going to also put in some metrics as well. So I'm going to put in event count, first visits, conversions, and maybe revenue as well, and sessions. So these are all metrics which I might use, I might not use, but they're just there, so they're available for me to put in. Cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just create my table. So here I'm going to create a row of device brand, and then I'm going to also add in a column of device category, and I'm going to add my value as sessions. So this should in theory create like a sort of pivot table. So here you can see you've got the device categories, but then you've also got the brand here. So Apple desktop looks to be the most sort of used type of device in terms of the number of sessions coming in, with Google desktop coming in close second. And then we can see that mobile still Apple is dominating that one, and there's quite a big gap between those two, but not as many as the desktop. So this is kind of what we can do with our freeform, and you can do things like add a filter as well. So if you wanted to filter like operating system, you could filter that by Windows. Obviously Apple's probably gonna disappear from here, but you can filter that table if you want to down here as well. You can change the views as well, stuff like donut charts if you want, which will sort of split the sessions out into things like the device brand, and a few different views as well, like a bar chart. So I'm going to name this test pivot device. Great report name, and I'm going to go back to the Explore tab, and we should in theory see that here. So this has been created now, and I can duplicate that, I can delete it. I can't actually share it on this account because I haven't got the right permissions, but if you've got collaborate permissions, you can share that with other people as well, which is good. Look at the segment overlap section next, and this means you can see if characteristics of different segments overlap. So maybe if I show you, it will make more sense. So here I'm going to create a user that comes from a specific channel. So here I'm going to add in organic search. So this is a user that has come from organic search at any point in their journey. I'm going to create another one. So here I'm going to create a paid search user. So someone who's come from paid search at any point in their journey. and I'm going to add in total number of events, and you can see actually it's defaulted to active users. Okay, yeah, let's get rid of that event count. So here you can actually see total number of users for each segment. However, there is a very small overlap here. So there are 114 active users who have actually used organic search and paid search and are visiting the site in this date range. So it's interesting to see if there are people sort of doing two different things which you might think are completely separate, but actually they do have a bit of an overlap. And you can completely change these segments if you want. So you can add in like different landing pages to see if people are like coming in different points on different landing pages as well. Cool. So there are a few other techniques as well. So this is the cohort exploration, and I'm going to use the same segments that I used earlier. So organic search and paid search. And I'm going to look at the first touch acquisition date, and I'm going to actually look at the conversions. So here what I'm doing is I'm basically seeing how long it takes for someone to come back to the site to convert. So here you can see in this week there are actually quite a large number of users who converted in that same week, but there were 148 users who it took them 1 week to convert, and then it took 118 users 2 weeks to convert, and it took 87 users 3 weeks to convert, and so on. And so you can kind of see here how long it takes people to convert. And if you had things which were maybe like a long-term user sort of like purchase, you would see a shift where maybe the cohorts would be a bit longer to convert rather than everyone being in this first section. You can change granularity as well. So if we change to daily, we might see some of the numbers shift a bit. It still looks like it's really heavy here, but that might just be because conversions are things like scrolling and stuff like that. So it's very likely that users do scroll. So that means it is very likely that users will convert on the first day. So yeah, that's cohort exploration. The final type of report I want to show you is the funnel exploration, and this is quite cool just to see a flow through sessions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some steps. So down here there's a bit called steps, and I can edit my flow. So here I want to, as my first step, I want to take people who are reaching the home page. So what I'm going to do here is filter this by page path, and then exactly matches the home page. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a step of from those people who reach the homepage, it's then indirectly followed by people who reach the basket page. You can change this as well to directly followed by. So if you want a more really strict sort of funnel, then you select that. However, I'm just after the sessions who reach a point any sort of like in their journey. So I'm going to filter this by page path contains basket. And if I wanted to as well, I could even put within a certain amount of time. So I want to do that, people who reach that within an hour. I'm then going to add a final step indirectly followed by a purchase. So this is the official e-commerce event which is firing. So I'm going to just basically say my third step is the purchase event. And again, I want that to be within 1 hour. So I'm going to apply that, and then we can see a very small step, but we can see that flow going through. So we can see the abandonment rate at each step. And this allows you to kind of like pinpoint if you've got a specific flow through some pages. It's really helpful to to pinpoint that. And you can actually break that down further if you want to. So for example, let's look at first user medium, and then it just allows us to pick out those abandonment rates by the first user medium as well, which could be really helpful to see if there's a particular campaign which is underperforming at certain funnel points and stuff like that.